This is a View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of January, 2025. My name is Patrick Smith. We'll be joined in a minute by the statistician for the Belfast Giants, David and We're also joined by Mr. Simon Kitchen, the legend that he is. And for over the next hour or more, we'll be bringing you through all the news and views of the Belfast Giants from the last week. We're live or on demand on YouTube, X, Facebook, and you can listen to us through all the really good podcast providers. If you're watching live on any of the platforms, get involved. Drop us your comments in the chat box or on X. We're always watching. You might see your comment on screen. The Belfast Giants have moved to the top of the Elite Ice Hockey League following victories against opponents of both the Red and White Rose English counties. We'll look back at an enjoyable weekend for the men in tail. Jackson Whistle has had a hell of a few weeks. He's Jackson Whistle. I've lost my train of thought there. Jackson Whistle had a hell of a few weeks as Adam Keefe goes with the hot hand, and he'll pop by later for a chat. It's also a busy week for the Giants with them facing Guildford, Coventry before returning to the Calbon Arena to face Cardiff after their successful foray in the Continental Cup last weekend. Friend of the show, Neil Francis, will be dropping along to talk with us. Mr. Majemsi, how are you? Oh no, Mr. Majemsi, how are you? Got you? There he is.
I'm very well, thank you, Patrick.
All habits die hard. Went straight for you there. And Mr. Kitchen, you keeping well?
Yes, Patrick, I'm very good. Thank you.
Good. Right, we've got quite a few things to crack in to, and we're going to start with one of our favourite people. Please welcome back to A View from the Bridge, Laura Small. How are you doing, Laura?
I'm great. Thanks, Patrick. How are you?
Yes, and apart from cutting my chin shaving, I'm doing all right. As always, when you come on, Laura, there's always a really good reason for it. What's going on with the Belfast Giants over the next week or two?
A couple of different things going on the next month. So we're started on Friday with Pride. So I'm not here for the negativity. I'm just going to explain a couple of things about Pride. I don't want anyone coming for me. If you've got your opinion, that's okay. Just don't want to hear it. So we are going with Pride Night on the Elite League and the Pride Weekend, which even though some people have worn their jerseys at different times, obviously we're raising money for Cara Friend, but it's also about raising awareness of Cara Friend and awareness of inclusion in sport, not just coming to the Giants and being part of it and being welcome there, but also about taking part in the sport of ice hockey. That sport is for everybody, regardless of what your sexual preferences are. You can play sport, play ice hockey, come to the Giants. All those things are what we want to talk about in relation to Pride. But then looking at our partner for the year. And so our partner this year is Cara Friend. Cara Friend was actually, I don't want to say nominated, but I can't think of a better word, to us from a fan who availed of the services and was really grateful for the support that they received. And I think whenever we get like that kind of feedback from a fan, it's important for us then to also show our support to that charity who supports our fans. So we filmed a nice piece today with Cara Friend, so I don't want to talk too much that's going to repeat what they say, but I just want to run through briefly some of the services that they offer so that people are aware of that. So they offer so many services, training to businesses, so like different types of HR training. They offer youth services. They offer support for families. They offer awareness training. They have a helpline. And the one that I think is particularly important, especially in Northern Ireland, is they offer some kind of mental health and well-being. The statistics for Northern Ireland for mental health are absolutely diabolical, and the mental health services here are, well, you know what the NHS is like, and the mental health services are worse and have been worse for a substantial period of time. And as we know, Northern Ireland has very high suicide rates. So I think that's really important that they offer that service. I keep saying Friday night, even though it's Saturday. Yes, we're wearing our Pride jerseys, but also on Saturday night, Sporting Pride and Cara Friend will have tables on the bridge. So they're there for people who want to come along. They might have some questions. They might be needing help or support from these services. So they're there for you to go along, have a chat to. They'll be there before the game, between 6 and 7, and then again at the first intermission. So that's just my wee chat about Pride. Then the other thing is, I know it's a wee bit away, but I didn't want to have to keep coming on. So on 14th...
Welcome anytime, Laura, you know that.
Stop it. On the 14th of February, we are going to have our first charity partner game. I know I say this every time, but when these charities are associated with fans, I feel like the need to reiterate this. The charities are not chosen. Like a fan can come to me and say, Laura, will you support this charity? It just doesn't work like that. The charities are nominated by staff and then they're voted for. So they're narrowed down just on the number of votes, or if they all get the same, then they all go up for their vote, and then they're voted for by the staff. So just because this particular charity is associated with both Davy and Blake, it is nothing. I don't want to sound mean, but it's nothing to do with them. It's not picked because of them. I don't want people to think we have favoritism in regards to the charity that we're choosing. So Children's Heartbeat Trust is one of our charity partners this year. They are a smallish local charity and they offer phenomenal services to family. When you hear, Davy, what are you giggling at?
Davy's on mute. You can't say
Just go back to your toenails.
Oh.
They offer fantastic services. So finding out your child has a heart problem, a heart illness, heart disease, could be at birth, could be when they're born, but that is going to absolutely floor you. Just, I can't even imagine. They are there right from the diagnosis. They will see you through everything that you go through. They will be there for surgeries. So heart surgery isn't really performed for children in Northern Ireland really now. So it's Dublin, London, maybe Birmingham as well. So
Bristol.
Just Bristol.
Bristol.
All right, big boy, settle down. You're not doing the surgery. Calm down. So Blake went to Evelina in London for his heart valve transplant, and Davy attends a clinic in Newcastle upon Tyne. And hopefully when the time comes for Dee to get his heart, he will also continue to be supported by Children's Heartbeat Trust. So they offer support from when your diagnosis through surgery. They offer emotional support. They're there in the hospital. So they have Clark Ward in the Royal Hospital, and they support people there. They visit every week. So if you're stuck there, that's pretty tough. You're seeing limited people. Sometimes you just want to see somebody different and a face that you don't have to. You maybe don't want to tell your family everything's going on. You don't have to protect yourself. You can just say kind of whatever you want to those people, and they're there to support you. But they also offer practical support, which can be financial, because again, if you find out you have a child that needs surgeries, where do you want to be? Do you want to be at work? No, you do not. Do you want to be in the hospital by their bedside, holding their hand, telling them stories, playing games with them, anything that you can do to distract them and help them? So emotional support, practical support. One of the really lovely things that I learned about they do is it's called Ladybird Bags, and it's in memory of a child called Jake. Oh, what was his last name? Flaherty, I think, and he passed away when he was just 2. And his parents made these bags, and it's based on some artwork that he did, and it provides just some essentials that you maybe just don't think about when you're packing up your stuff to take your kid to surgery, because again, all you care about is your child's going to have surgery. So like toothpaste, coffee, socks, just bits and pieces. They just are such a wonderful charity, and they, even if the worst happens to your child, they don't just go, okay, sorry, bye-bye. They're there to support people, and our donations, that money that we raise on that night, will go a long way to helping them sustain their services. On the night, we will be wearing those beautiful jerseys. And I don't care what people. I saw that one horrible comment saying that they would look ridiculous on the team. The team have worn lederhosen, cowboy outfits, Easter bunnies, Easter eggs. I
Laura,
think the bunnies are really the least offensive.
Laura, people have an opinion about everything on either side.
Oh, I know,
but I mean, stupid things.
Easter eggs and bunnies, I feel like that's way worse than the teddy bears that were coloured in by the sick children.
Yeah.
So all the money from that, the charity will also be collecting on the night. So we'll have bucket collections, QR codes around the place. And then again, they'll also have a stall, like a table on the bridge just there. Again, if anybody wants to come and find out more about what to do, or has a relative with an illness and they didn't realize that support system was there. Yes, that's all from me. That was a lot of talking. Sorry.
That's honestly some absolutely wonderful things to be getting involved with, and for the Belfast Giants for getting involved with, and it's great. Thank you for coming on and sharing it with us. Do you want to say hello to Boxy?
I do, but I also just want to say that my clock is correct. I did mean
Clock's
to
correct.
this.
Clock's correct. Whereas it goes down there. But, okay, then. Well, at this point, then we will let you say hello to the big man himself. We're delighted to welcome back.
Jonathan, bring him on.
Well, welcome back to A View from the Bridge. One of our favorite people, one of our favorite former players. Please welcome back Jonathan Boxill. But I don't know if his camera's working. Can you hear me?
Hi, Laura. How are you?
Is your camera working? We can't see you.
Can you not?
I can see him.
Can
I
you?
can see him.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see him. Must be on my screen.
All right.
Davy's muted. That must be me. How you doing, Boxy? You all right?
Yeah, good. Davey likes my glasses. I'm getting old. I need these glasses.
No, I can't see you.
Oh, you can't? All right.
We can, Lauren. I can see him definitely.
That's
Yeah,
bad.
not much has changed. No, well, good. Laura, how are you?
I'm great, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm good. Laura and I talk a lot on text and stuff, so it's always refreshing to have like a proper face-to-face virtual.
That's what I said. I was like, just let me see his wee face, and then I'll go on.
All right. Well, Laura, lovely to see you. We'll stick
Yeah,
around
thanks,
with Jonathan.
Appreciate
And
your
thanks,
time.
and we'll stick all the stuff on our socials and make sure that everybody's aware of everything that's coming up over the next few weeks. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks. Bye. Bye, Jonathan.
Bye, Laura.
Mr. Boxill.
How we
Doing
doing?
well?
Yeah, good.
Doing very well. Let's start with the very important stuff, because I want to chat to you just as well about the Giants, because obviously 25th season of the Belfast Giants, and you're a big part of that. But before we get into that, you put a thing on social media this week that caught everybody's attention, caught everybody's heart, and you're doing some wonderful things. Could you just take us through what it is?
Yeah, so I want to be clear in the fact that obviously this isn't an easy topic to talk about, but as you can see by my tone, and I'm happy, like it's really important that there's an incredible amount of positives to take from the hand that we've been dealt as a family, and it's just really sort of important to sort of cling to that. But anyway, long story short is at the beginning of December we went in with Adelaide, our youngest daughter, for we definitely noticed that there were some things that were off. And I do feel in a weird way like some level of like responsibility now to kind of talk about this. Is like I almost had like stupid caveman brain, and what I'll mean by that is like you see things like speech and balance and stuff, and I just kind of looked at it in a very unlogical brain of like she just needs to be more active. And Alyssa was very, very clear. It was like there's something wrong here. So we took her in to be checked. They did blood work, that was fine, and they took her in to do an MRI just to see if it was anything more. And we come to find out that she had a brain tumor, which is obviously incredibly challenging. But basically, the fact that they caught it as early as they did, the type of tumor, the location of the tumor is rare, but rare for very good reasons. The surgeon who performed the surgery is world-renowned, and he was able to get 100% of the tumor. And basically the last month and a half, we've just kind of been on pins and needles, because you're almost waiting for, is there more to this, right? So, just going back to what I said at the beginning about being positive, like they did the spinal tap and that was all clear. And then about a week ago, we found out the molecular results, that was all clear. So we basically crossed into the world, which is now moving forward. It's just sort of MRIs to keep on top of this. But I think the crucial thing with this is that Alyssa, with her intuition, and if anybody wants to have a chat about it and you don't believe it, mother's intuition, that is absolutely a thing. And this
100% is a thing.
Without a doubt, this is an example of it. And yeah, the doctor literally told us, which was obviously a reflection on Alyssa, who's like, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, spinal taps, all this sort of stuff. Like if this isn't taken care of, then this is a different conversation. And I think everybody can read between the lines of that. So now I feel some level of responsibility of, in any aspect, right? Like us as adults and children or whatever. Like I'm not saying if you have the sniffles, run and get an MRI, but it definitely has kind of changed my outlook on, in the nicest way, right? Like if you think that there's something wrong, then there's no harm. We all live very busy lives, right? And you almost sometimes put your health, you just don't maybe put it as in the forefront of what you should do. So yeah, I just feel some level of responsibility now to kind of speak to the fact of like, if you do think there's something in any aspects of life, like there's, definitely worth just getting a check, because with Adelaide, like I didn't think it was as extreme as it was, and that ended up saving her life. So yeah.
And tell us about the challenge you're undertaking as part of this.
Yeah, so in everybody in the Boston area and pretty much for the state of Massachusetts, there's a world-renowned charity called the Pan Mass Challenge, which it started in 1980, and last year, just to put it in perspective, they hit the threshold of raising over $1 billion, which is astonishing. But it's something I've been thinking about doing for quite some time, and naturally, like, go back to the point of busy lives, like it's just something I just was thinking about doing but never really got around to it. But the ironic part is that all of the money for this bike ride goes to Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund, and Dana-Farber is where Adelaide's been going for treatment and stuff like that. So it's almost like the stars aligned. So I'm doing that bike ride in August, and it's 160 miles from Wellesley, which is just outside of Boston, down to Provincetown, which is like the tip of Cape Cod. So just trying to do anything I can to, as you heard from Laura, right, charity is important in every aspect, right? But for me now, I feel like it's a real level of responsibility that literally the money is going to the place which has done what it's done for Adelaide. So yeah, very, very lucky that everything about this has kind of fallen into place the way it has.
I'll be keeping an eye on your Strava, mate. So when it comes to it, how can people support you in this?
Yeah, so they're very simple. We've done it's not GoFundMe, it's one of the American versions. It's just any way you can contribute towards that. That would be eternally appreciated for everybody that's kind of impacted by this, right, in regards to our family. But look, I think honestly the biggest thing for me, right, the monetary support is fantastic, but as I said, right, I don't want the NHS has enough pressure to begin with, right? But just if you do feel that there is something that you would like to get checked, then don't be shy, go get it checked, because it's important.
Boxy, first of all, am I right in saying that that's the back of your house?
No, this is actually the front. So you remember the back of the house is on the other side. This is my office.
Oh, okay, right. Let's see what you've got in the back garden. Is that a laptop?
Oh yeah. Hang on, that's good. Hang on, let me.
Is it a laptop or is it a phone?
It's a laptop, so I can. You even get a little tour of. We got.
Brilliant, love it.
Yeah. So that's all good stuff. All right, hang on one sec.
This is just class.
Hang on one sec. You get the full. I feel like I'm on like MTV Cribs right now. Hang on. And I made my bed as well, so that's good. Hang on.
This is just brilliant.
Jonathan Boxill's house. It's the first for Leaving the Bridge.
Literally, my bedroom as well. So hang on.
Nice.
You guys can see that.
What do you call your program? You used to do through the keyhole or something?
Oh, through the keyhole. Who lives in a house like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
nice.
So we try and go out there at least once a day. It's very, very, very cold right now, so not as long. But yeah, we had like Higgy and his two sons came over. They come over probably once every couple of weeks, but they were over last week, and we were skating with them, which was a lot of fun. So I let him teach them how to do stick handling and all that stuff, because he's obviously a lot better at it than I am. So
you can do the block shots, mate. You can do the block shots.
I'll just slide around the ice and let kids.
In fairness, mate.
So I was going to say he got a mention on this. He got a mention on this show the other week when we had Omar Pasha on. We always like to remind. Remind Pash how Higgy broke his ankles.
Thanks a lot of people, and he continues to do it in pickup. So I can assure you. But we're very, very lucky that with it being so cold, you just fill it up, put the sides down, and put the plastic down, and it does itself. So yeah, all good.
Listen, obviously with jumping on the back of what you're doing and raising the money for the fantastic cause, the Pan Mass, Laura and the club have organised a jersey. So we've got one of our 25th anniversary jerseys that the whole team has signed. We're going to get it's on raffle right now, but we're just waiting for the authorization to be accepted. And once we get that done, we'll put that out on the AVFTB socials. We'll also get that put out on the club socials as well. So please support every penny that we raise from this, less the fees from raffle. will be going directly to Boxill's fundraising efforts as well. So if we can do that, and Laura has just sent a message in saying that it's live now, so
Amazing.
We will get that up. Paddy or Davy will
fine.
post that up on the socials very, very shortly. So please support anything, any way you can. And I mean, what you talk about, you know, I've been speaking to Boxill the whole way through December, and we've all got daughters. All 4 of us have got daughters. And having the news that you had to go through Boxill's, just I have absolutely no idea what you went through, mate. And what the way you've done it, the way you've handled it, the way Alyssa and everything's handled has been fantastic. And thankfully, little laddie is in a good space. And you know what? We talk about, you know, being in the right spot at the right time. Boston Children's Hospital is one of the most renowned children's hospitals in the world. And being there when you had to be there was probably the best bit of luck you're ever going to have in your life.
Yeah, no, in every aspect of it. And I just kind of want to go back to something you said there. Sears, like it's been in a weird way, right? It's been good because people that I haven't spoken to for, I mean, obviously you and I speak a lot, but there's been a lot, you know, these scenarios bring you together and obviously make you realize what's important. And it's amazing the support, and obviously Kiefer and Laura. Like Laura was actually over here, ironically. She was planning to come over to see us, and that shows us, you know, how amazing a person she is, that she continued to come over here, and she was with us, and she was, you know, with us almost every day in the hospital, which was great. But the other thing as well I want to kind of mention is that obviously I went out and posted it, and there's guys that, you know, as I said, I haven't spoken to, or, you know, I played with them a long time ago, and then you get people that I'd never played with before. Like, if you guys remember Jeff Dimon, who played in Nottingham.
Yes,
I'd never spoken to that guy. I know he played with Raj out in the Asian League, I think in Korea or Japan, but like he donated, right? And I've never spoken to that guy before. So, you know, it's amazing what situations like this can do by bringing people together. So it's important to kind of call that out as well.
I know that this is a lot about raising awareness as much as raising money, but I can't really do very much to raise awareness, but I can try and raise some money. So at the weekend, I put a few things on. Hung this up behind me tonight. It's a signed Steve Nash, Phoenix Suns. And while I've been waiting, someone texted me and said they're going to put $200 on your raffle for it. This podcast worn jacket. Oh,
a podcast worn jacket.
Podcast worn jacket. Look at that. Belfast Giants.
As worn on the podcast.
As worn on the podcast. 25 quid, the Boxies charity. I will give it to you. And look at this. Beauty. Absolutely brand new. Cannot buy these.
You'll not get much for that.
Ladies, size 10, Glasgow Rangers. Kit. Players kit.
50p.
Another 25 quid. Anybody wants any of that, get on Boxies. GoFundMe or send me a message and we'll put it in your hands for some of your cash. That's all I can do to help.
Oh, very, very, very kind of you. So thank you. And in the 25th anniversary jersey, that's anything along those lines is just very much appreciated. So thank you to Laura and everybody involved in that and the club. I know when Laura and I started this conversation, and obviously Davey, you and I spoke about I was hopeful that, you know, we'd be able to do something, but, you know, as always, right, the club, and it's hard, right? Like I know, the club does so much for charity, but it's just amazing and a lot of clubs do it, but it is, I think, from someone who's not as involved, you know, watches from afar, it is amazing the strides, not only on the ice, but just the amount of charity work and stuff. It is very, very impressive. So, just speaks to how solid of a club and people around the club are. So all good. Thank you.
While we're let's just feed into that, because obviously, as you mentioned, it's the 25th anniversary of the 25th season of the Belfast Giants, and you quite a big part of that, Jonathan, with regards to what you offered and what you brought to the club. What do you think it is about the club? I think we've asked you this before, but given the whole situation, what do you think it is about the club that even now, like yourself, are still so tied to it?
You know, obviously Belfast is a very, very special place, right? It's a nice place to live, and the people there are incredibly welcoming and friendly. And I think, you know, it's pretty cliche, right? Anytime you Google the Belfast Giants, you're going to get some of these things that pop up in the newsfeed. But I think why the club was founded and how important that is something that isn't lost on anybody, even if you just play there 1 year and that's the end of it, or you play for a couple of years and it's still a big part of your life. But I think you definitely feel that very, very early on. And I think, I don't know, it's just really, really hard to describe. But even people, like I had a guy whose son skates with Ophelia, and his brother played at Northeastern, and he actually played in the Friendship Four in the first year.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, really small world. And like his family who were there just for the Friendship Four still speak incredibly highly about what their experience was and how special of a place it is. And it's not BS, right? Like they're not just being polite, because in the nicest way, like they don't think I have any skin in the game. I just played there, but it's amazing to see the impact that it has. And yeah, it's a very, very special place. I didn't play in a huge amount of places in my career. But even guys that, played there 1 year, 2 years, like everybody just thinks it's just a really, truly special place to live and to play. And yeah, it's very, very hard to describe, but that's kind of how I would view it. And the people around the club as well, right? You guys and Kiefer and Steve and everybody, like it's just a very, very good group of people.
There was one, I was speaking to Boxill at the weekend, and I don't know why it just popped up on my YouTube reminders. That you get these little memories, and there was a memory from 2017 of the game against Cardiff Devils. We're 2-1 down. Boxill got a goal. I don't know where it tipped. I'm not sure what part of your anatomy it tipped at the stick, whatever it was, to make it 2-2, and then Higgy got the overtime goal to make it 3-2 in in Cardiff. And I sent it on to Boxill on Saturday. It was a Saturday, I think it was. I think it might have been.
Yeah.
But there's wee things like that pop up. I mean, there's somebody was showing me the other day. They've got the screensaver of you. It was in the arena. They've got the screensaver of you literally getting back to your feet again. The screenshot of the video when you get hit in the ass in the final in Cardiff, and they've got that as their screensaver on their phone at the arena. It's wee memories like that. It's not always a winning goal, and it's not always a lifting a trophy, but it's things like that just stick in your head of your favorite players, and you're one of mine without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, it's wee things like that just really bring the memories back.
Yeah, the best part of that game as well was, do you remember Higgy's celebration?
Yeah.
You still don't understand how he didn't get.
Is that the moonwalk?
Yeah,
the moonwalk celebration. I remember that moonwalk.
And nothing happened from it, but yeah, I guess.
I got the very same game sent to me by Mark Brooks that basically just read "Happy Anniversary of the Moonwalk Celebration" to all that celebrate.
Maybe like pushed miles away as well, and then does the moonwalk is the best part. But yeah, no, it's awesome to see where the club is now, right? And even crazy things, right? Like the pyro now and the silver helmets, and like it's just amazing how far the club has progressed, the locker room and stuff. So yeah, just long may it continue.
Would you look back? Sorry, go on. What's that?
Sold.
Sold.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Run away. Would you look back at your career, the Belfast Giants, Boxill? What one game stands out for you?
Honestly, and it's not just because obviously Cardiff won. I think people don't realize how important that Continental Cup final loss actually was. I think the atmosphere and everything. I mean, it was just an unbelievable game to just be a part of. But that was such a pivotal time for us as a team, where, like, once again, like it was many, many years ago. But like, I think you look back on it and you realize like how it was just such a biggest fork in the road I think I experienced in my career. Of like, we could have sat around and licked our wounds and played the couple remaining months of the year and talked about how we could have won something, but it really galvanized the group and just how special the remaining few months were that year of the way we came back. And then obviously everybody knows winning the championship at a hotel in the awards night, like that. The impact of that game, obviously we would have loved to won, but I think that what that sprung, the springboard that led to for the remainder of the season was something that I won't personally forget. And obviously, it would have been nice to win it, but I think the impact of that game as a group was really, really vital.
And the question I always ask the returning players especially after this amount of time is, do you miss playing the game at that level?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was I don't know the guy very well, but obviously his social media posts and stuff like that. But seeing what Roche did this weekend, was texting with Laura, and it's things like that. Just the atmosphere and the those experiences are a lot of fun. But yeah, look, you don't realize how quickly it goes, and I don't ever want to be that sort of old man, but that's my biggest piece of advice I have to anybody. Even when I was back in Belfast a couple of months ago, with Wiss and Rochi and those guys who are, slightly older in their careers now, it's just like it goes by so quickly, and just enjoy it while you have it. And the fact that you get what you get when you play, and the cars and the accommodation and stuff, like, you should be very, very appreciative of that, because the real world is very, very different. So no, I do miss it, and the locker room and the memories of that. It was similar to, I go back to the Adelaide situation. Like, you got two ways to look at it, right? The positives are that you did it, and you should look back on it with fond memories. So just very, very appreciative and thankful that I got to do what I did when I did. So it's all good.
Well, thanks for coming on. Before you go, do you want to say hello to Wiss?
Is he here? Yeah, I'll say hi to Wiss.
Please welcome back to you from the Bridge, Jackson Whistle. How you doing, Wiss?
All good, all good. What's up, Boxy?
What's going on, Wiss?
Oh, you're still looking pretty good, Boxy. I'm not that old yet. Come on now.
No. Wiss, you're hot right now. I was still watching the games this weekend.
Oh, thanks, bud. Just trying my best.
Yeah, well, it's not lost on the fans. Trust me, I'm a fan.
Gotta keep her going. We just gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
Boxy, listen, we really appreciate you coming on. Best of luck with the fundraising. Best of luck with the Pan Mass. We keep up in touch. I'll be watching your Strava to make sure that training's going well. Yeah. And always good to have you in the show, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And Jackson, say hi to Big Dave, and congrats on the Hall of Fame. If the bees were still around, he'd be in the Hall of Fame there, but unfortunately,
I'll let him know you're thinking of him.
All right, cheers, guys. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Boxy. All the best.
See you later.
Jackson, good to see you, buddy. How are you?
All good. How are you guys doing?
Turn your phone 90 degrees if you can, or your iPad, whatever you're in. That'll flick it into. There we go. That's that better. So let's start. We haven't gone through the games. We're going to go through the games later, but quite the weekend, quite a few weeks for you. You're quite the hot hand at the minute.
No, it's been going good. I think the team has been playing really well over the last kind of, even the last kind of month, but 3 weeks sort of thing. So for myself personally, just nice to get back in the net and get back playing again and kind of get into a little bit of a rhythm and routine.
Obviously, you have that tandem with Tom McCullum. Obviously, Dicko was involved in this as well. But how to get this sort of string of games and get that confidence going, especially with the profile of the games that we've had, how does that feed into your confidence when you're between the pipes?
No, it's good. I think when you get to play, I guess kind of when you get to play a lot more kind of back-to-backs or, 2 games a week, you can kind of just get into a bit of a rhythm and develop a little bit more consistency as opposed to maybe playing once every other week sort of thing. So it's nice personally just to get back in there and play them more. And then obviously with the teams that we did play, big games as a group to kind of get us into position we want to be here kind of heading into the stretch, really.
I know it's almost a stupid question because it kind of almost answers itself, but playing maybe 2 games in a weekend and knowing that you're probably going to play the next game and the next game because you're in good form, that must help mentally then going into the next game, the positivity that brings.
I think so a little bit. You don't even really, you kind of just get into a bit of a flow state almost, like you don't even really think about it. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute, you just played 5 games in a row. But because you're playing in them and you're really just worried about the next team, the next opponent, you aren't really thinking of it too much. But no, it definitely feels good. And it's just kind of, it almost makes the games easier. I guess you feel easier as you go into the next one because you've just played the night before.
And I know you'll be honest enough that it is a threesome there, you and Dicko and Tom, and like probably since certainly mid-November, the win column has been outstanding.
No, yeah, 100%. The guys have been doing really well. We got a good group of goalies. We work really well together on and off the ice for one another. And then obviously the team itself, and we got a lot of good players. We have a good group, a really good team, I think. So it's just really putting it together here and, doing what we need to do.
Jackson, the locker room, obviously, we've earlier in the season, we had a lot of injuries. I've been saying the whole season long, just let us get healthy. Once we get healthy, we're going to be all right. We hit the top of the table at the weekend. That doesn't matter. Hitting the top of the table in early January is not the way. Certainly you want to be there, but it's not the be all and end all because ultimately it's a marathon, not a sprint. Bringing Goody into the locker room last week. How's he settled in?
Good. I love Goody, to be honest with you. I'm really happy that we were able to get him back. I think he's a big part of the team. obviously been a big part of the winning teams and the success we've had. And he's really got, he's good on the ice and also has a really good grasp of what needs to be done off the ice with his finger on the pulse and things like that. So he's settling in pretty good. I thought it would actually take him a little bit longer, to be honest with you, to kind of pick up, where he left off playing wise. Again, I thought it would take 2 or 3 weeks, but he was right back at it, like within a week, pretty much, less than that. And I thought he did pretty well on the ice.
And I can't not ask you about your attempt. You were obviously watching the NHL the night before. You tried to go for the goal on Saturday night. Talk us through that.
I swear to God that the day before, me and Tom were discussing in the room, like, have you ever gone for a goalie goal? I'm like, no. And I'm like, Tristan Jarry is a pretty good puck handler. We're watching Pittsburgh highlights. And he's like, oh, well, their other goalie is actually an even better puck handler. Sure enough, the next day, I think it was Nedeljkovic or whoever it is, he scores a goal. So then we play the night after that. And I had that conversation in my head as the puck got dumped into me perfectly. Usually I've never gone for a goalie attempt before. That was my first one ever. And to be honest, at first I was like, you know what, I'm going to clear this out of the blue line. Like, there's no one around me. It'll kill another 10 seconds. I think there might have been 40 seconds left or whatever it was. And then I was kind of like, all right, you know what? Actually, no, I got time to go for this. But then Simpson backed right up, and I didn't step into it as well. I needed to hit it a little harder, but I was a little nervous, so I just wanted to get out of the blue line and not get scored on, really. So, but I'll practice it and practice a few more times for you.
Was it going to be on target? Because obviously where I was sitting, I had absolutely no idea. Was it on target?
No, it was going wide.
How difficult is it? Like,
it's pretty hard, like, because you would have to clear. Well, one, you got to get it on line, which is hard enough on its own, and then you probably got to at least clear to the far blue, really, if there's guys there. So it's quite difficult as a goalie to get it there. That goal the guy scored me, he was from behind the net and got it all the way out there, which is even better. So.
Tell us about this goalie union, the three of you, and how well you've worked together. Obviously, your time at the Belfast Giants, you've had a number of guys that you've worked alongside, but Dicko's been the solid feature there. Do you guys work together? Do you spend time together, or is it just you focus on your own game?
No, we work together. We like you said, Dicko's kind of in the glue in there the whole time, but every day is just so people get kind of an example. Every day before practice, the three goalies and Jeff Baum will go on the ice for about 15, 20 minutes beforehand, do some kind of work, some warm-up shots, maybe some things that have happened in the game we want to work on, certain movements, things like that. So we all kind of work together as a group. Obviously, then practice comes along, you kind of split up or rotate around. But no, it's definitely a team effort, and you are kind of we talk to each other a lot. We talk about things we see, talk about tendencies from other guys and other teams. So it's a team effort.
Jackson, sorry, Paddy, come across here. Jackson, the games have been coming thick and fast right from the start of December. We've had a lot of hockey, and this week's no different. With obviously tomorrow night and then two at the weekend, which we'll get to at the weekend. But another big game, travel day tomorrow, and a big game tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, up early again, and we were kind of looking at it today, kind of our schedule moving forward, and it's a lot of hockey, and we're in a position that personally I don't think we've been in before. We always seem to be chasing from behind and kind of trying to drag teams down. Where now it's kind of myself anyways, the way I'm looking at it is more of a foot on the gas mentality. Like, now that we're in the position we want to be in, we may as well put the pedal down and start keeping it going. Do you know what I mean? So put together as many points as we can. Tomorrow's obviously a big game, hard place to go play. Guildford's a pretty good team. And to go in there and, play in their ring, it's going to be a good challenge for the guys.
Plenty of boys down there in Guildford that have a knowledge of our team as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that'll be all right. That will be fine. We'll see what happens.
And it was just before Sis wraps up there. Just what you're saying about games upcoming and that. We're pretty much at the 50% of the season, half the season done in the first 4 months, 3 months to do the other half of the season. So if I think it was busy coming up to Christmas, this is now a compact time for hockey.
Yeah, 100%. I think we just looked today. I think there's 24 games, I want to say, left in the league. 24 or 26, something like that anyways. And it goes by quick, that always post Christmas, it seems to go by pretty fast. And obviously, we're kind of getting to the end of January here. You got February, March, and you're right into it. So no, we're definitely excited. I think we have a great group of guys. We have a good team, and it's really, but you look around the league as well too. There's 4 or 5 other teams that are right there as well. 3 other ones really too. So it's going to be hard, but I think it's something that we're looking forward to.
Well, Jackson, listen, we're going to let you go because you got a big travel day tomorrow. We appreciate your time. You've been playing brilliantly the last wee while. We look forward to the rest of the season. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me.
Save the date.
Big thanks to Wes for joining us, and of course to Jonathan Boxill. We're cracking on here, boys, because we got another guest coming just in a second. But we will be getting to the games from last weekend later in the show. But what we're going to talk about now is as has been mentioned, we've got 3 games coming up against Guildford, at home to Coventry, and then against the Cardiff Devils. And it's the Cardiff Devils who in the last week at home picked up that large dinner plate, that large tea tray that had only been picked up in the UK before by the Nottingham Panthers. We tried ourselves. We fell short against Ireland, but the Cardiff Devils were able to lift the Continental Cup on home ice on Sunday. And with our game against them this coming Sunday, who else are we going to get on the show but the friend of the show, one of the friends of the show, that is, of course, Neil Francis. How are you doing, Franny?
I'm good, Patrick. I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well, mate. Doing well, thank you. Give us an insight to what it was like the other night.
Yeah, when I say I'm good, I'm still a bit tired. It's the after party took it out of me, but that's just my age showing there. But no, it was. Do you know what? It was all the games there. The away fans were tremendous. I mean, the Katowice fans. You probably saw the videos of them. They were just.
We have experience of them in Belfast. We remember them well.
Yeah, there's something else. And when you get away fans like that, it drives your own fans to try and raise their level again and try and outdo them. And so that was a great start to it on Thursday. And the boys played really well and dominated most of that game. I watched the other game as well, and that was a really tight game with Grenoble coming back for a sort of come from behind win, and then it turned out to be a final, and I was quite glad. Some of our fans were like, "Oh, we want Poland to win, so we only have to lose by a couple of goals. We win," and you don't want to win any trophy, do you, by losing a game, especially in such a short format. I wouldn't have wanted that at all. So it was nice to have it as a final and a final atmosphere, and it was massive. The place was buzzing, and what I think was really nice for me is I think I counted there was 6 guys on our team that haven't won a pro championship. So that's a huge moment in their careers, and people forget that. Is some people go their whole careers and don't win anything, and it's easy to overlook that when you've been on teams that have won and you're part of teams that have won, like you guys as well. But some players in some teams they never get to experience it. So I was really pleased, especially for those guys.
What sort of, like, I'm going to bring up a video that I got from Dan, I got off his Twitter of you guys celebrating on the gantry, but obviously the celebrations are there, but what does that do to the guys in the locker room, do you think?
They've been like superb, and they've formed a tight bond over the last few weeks, especially. This is the dying seconds of the game, isn't it? With Pellini getting his hat trick there. But yeah, over the last few weeks, I mean, everyone knows that we've been short. We've been down as much as 8 guys recently, and the guys have battled in. And we've had some amazing come from behind wins against like Nottingham when we were 4 goals down to get through to the Challenge Cup semi-finals, and then up in Glasgow and in Manchester, and the guys have just dug deep with the bare minimum on the bench. So they've already felt that they were getting a tight bond. So to then win something, and you know as well as I do that you can have a great team and you can say, "Oh, this is a great team I've played on. These are great teammates," but you never have a bond like a team that you win with. And I'm glad that those guys will have that bond.
Neil, as has been tradition over the last 4, 5, 6 years, congratulations.
Thank you very much. We can be sporting, can't we?
We just that hurt a little. But tell me, I was talking to Todd. How hard is it to drink champagne off a dinner plate?
Yeah, well, it's good to carry drinks on. You can fit a lot of pints on there. And it was also useful to take the kids their dinner tonight. So it's got lots of uses on there. But yeah, it's a funny trophy, isn't it? I thought it was just a plain plate, but it's actually got, I think it's a puck or something on there, like a silver puck. And it's engraved with all the continent, I guess, on it as well. So it's not just a silver tea tray. It's a bit of detail on it. But hey,
yeah, well, I think it's really cute that you're counting that as a pro trophy. So congratulations again. Anyway, on to back to business. Obviously, I hadn't heard anywhere that the Cardiff Devils had injury problems. So that's also breaking news. But big game this weekend between us after I think we're playing tomorrow. I don't know if you've got any games before we come on Sunday.
Yeah, we're in Fife on Saturday.
Okay, so and then obviously
drive back.
I know it's no bigger game. Your next biggest game's Fife. Our next biggest game's Guildford. But it just has that feel of Sunday with the two teams being up around the top of the league. That feels like a big game coming up.
Yeah, well, when you get the league leaders coming into your building, and got to say that at the moment. So I think you guys have snuck up there, haven't you? Just quietly kept about your business. So we always knew that you'd be coming, and we knew that Sheffield as well from their blip that they had when Greenfield was out. I mean, they turned it around and went on whatever it was, 8 in a row until you beat them on the weekend. We always knew that teams would come on strong, and it feels like forever since we've played you guys, doesn't it? Usually we would have had a lot more games against you by now, but I love these big games, and I think both teams do as well, don't they? They really raise their games. We've had some fantastic battles over the last few years, and you can just see what it means to both teams when they go out there, because they just raise their compete level even further.
I think you're absolutely right. I think it was the first game in December when we were down in Cardiff, and it had the feel in the arena of a big game. Obviously, I think Riley Brandt, Cameron Pine go toe to toe at centre ice, and those sort of things in these big games now happen less and less because it's so tight. But that was a game of hockey that had a little bit of everything that night.
Yeah, and that's just typical, isn't it, of all the games that we've had against each other. And yeah, you can see it was Pound doing his thing for his team and Brandt doing his for us. And it's good that guys are still willing to try and change the momentum of a game or to do something, because that kind of mentality is quite few and far between now, isn't it?
You're on mute, Simon.
I'm not going to say it again. I was already congratulating you. Absolutely, congratulations. Everybody says about how good it is, so they get a lot of bollocks. It's only good for Cardiff Devils at this time. I jest, but look, getting that type of trophy, especially in January, we went through that. Unfortunately, we didn't pick a trophy up when we played Ireland and obviously Katowice back in 2018. But that loss we were talking about with Boxill there 20 minutes ago, that loss for us galvanized our team, 100%. Which then pushed us on to win the league and win the Challenge Cup that year. And it is, it's competitions like that bring teams together. You've been involved in a lot of successful Cardiff Devils teams throughout the last 25, 30 years. And that can just give you that little bit of impetus to basically push on. And you talk about the parity throughout the league this year. Obviously, Fife have had a really tough time over the last couple of months. Come out with a big result there at the weekend, beating Manchester, coming from behind, and then just losing out against Nottingham. So they're starting to play a wee bit better, and you're getting healthy again after having a few guys out. But it is the big games that you look forward to. And again, Sunday you must be really up for it, and obviously you've got to deal with Fife on your private jet with the night before.
Yeah, but back to the trophies. It's like when you win it, you realize how great it is, and it is easy to kind of rubbish it and say it's a limited competition, whatever. But there's only one team that can win it. It's the same when you win the Challenge Cup. another 8 teams probably, rubbish it and say it's not worth anything. But you've been in those moments when that buzzer goes and you hop over the barriers, and it's a magical moment for everyone involved. And it's, I don't care what cup it is. I mean, I had one of the best nights of my life celebrating the British Knockout Cup back in the day. And that was an even lesser trophy than the Challenge Cup. But I just think anytime you can win a final, it is something special that you experience with a close group to you. And losses in finals, like you say, they can galvanize you and push you on because you get a bit more desperate. For some people, when you win and you get across the line in a final, that also breeds that winning mentality, because winning is addictive and getting trophies is addictive, and you kind of realize what you've got to do to see out games in the big moments. So I just think any competition that you're in and you get right the way to the end, you can learn from it and take positives, whatever the result.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, mate. I fully agree. And obviously, you talk about those guys who haven't won at this level before. That gives them a wee bit of a boost as well, heading into the next game. And you've got I know what it's like to celebrate the trophy for a couple of nights, and I'm sure you'll be looking a few headache tablets over the next few days, and hopefully your team will as well.
Well, it was a night on Sunday, and the guys quite rightly got to celebrate it. They've worked hard lately and got that trophy. But back to work today, because we know that coming into this weekend is absolutely crucial. The game, we've both got to get games out of the way first, and then you end up focusing then on the Sunday nearer the time. But it's always going to be tight, isn't it, against our sides, and Sheffield breathing down the throat, and some of the other guys creeping up there as well. That every point on the line is important, and as much as people say they want a bigger playoff format and they want the league's not the big trophy and all that kind of stuff, because traditionally in other countries it's not. We've all grown up with that league mentality, and that to me is the 54 game playoff series, and any 2 points at any point in the year is huge. And I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest. The games that we've had lately have been kind of a little bit different, with come from behind wins and stuff like that. But now both teams have got healthy rosters. I mean, you've got Goodwin back in. You probably have Bescoani in for the weekend as well. He's probably on his way. And then we've got a couple of guys back now, so it was nice to run 4 lines, and I think just at the right time, because we know we got a battle on our hands.
I love having you on, Franny, because we can talk a little bit about the Welsh players and some of the guys coming through. And one player got himself a point with a trophy was Billy Howard, cutting things up in Bristol. Comes in, gets himself a point, and is able to lift that Continental Cup. How good is it for a young Welsh lad like that to be part of the setup and be able to be part of that at the weekend?
Yeah, it was brilliant, and he played a big role in it too. He got lots of ice time on the Thursday and lots in the final on the Sunday. There's a lovely clip. I think it was Ollie Hampson who was doing the film, and he used to do the film for Cardiff, but he was working for the IAHF, and he put a video, and it's Bailey Howard and Ben Davis, Ben Davis obviously injured, but the two of them were lining up on the blue line, belting out the anthem at the end of the game when we won it. So that was like a really nice moment to see the beaming smile on Bailey's face as he's singing that anthem. But I think what people don't appreciate with Bailey, like when he's playing in Bristol, he's playing a totally different role. He is the guy that's probably rewarded for cheating a bit out of the zone and maybe hanging around the blue line a little bit to try and get breakaways, because he needs to be their point scorer. And then obviously you can't do that when you're at this level of hockey. But he's got all the tools there. He really has. And, he's knuckled down for some hard work, and he's learned some hard lessons along the way. But he's a superb talent. And, on that, the assist that he got, where he takes the pass coming through and the puck isn't sitting. So he's trying to get the puck to sit while pulling moves on the goalie. And it's a fantastic save from the goalie, just gets a toe on it, but straight out to, can't remember who put it in. yeah, for him to get an assist in a European competition in the finals is I was really pleased for him, and really pleased that he got to play a big role. He wasn't just sitting on the bench. He played a regular shift in the Continental Cup final. So that's a huge step, I think, in his career, and it goes some ways to for him to do what he's trying to do and prove to us that he's somebody that we should give a bigger role to in the future.
It's interesting because we talk quite a bit about having that sort of local representation on the team. We talk about Decker back in Kell, we talk about the Hamels and what they're doing as well, and going away and getting, because obviously being from here or being a local guy shouldn't be a reason why you're on the team. You should be there on merit, but when you have that merit, and like these lads do, and they are able to play, it's great for our team to have. From your point of view, Franny, we've spoke before about the history of the great Welsh players that have played not just for the Cardiff Devils but around the league. How important is it that the Cardiff Devils do have that sort of local representation?
Yeah, I would be gutted if the day ever came when we didn't have a Welsh player on the team, and it's almost embarrassing when newcomers come to the game and you speak to, maybe there's somebody that's come along with a sponsor and they say, "Oh, so how many Welsh guys you got on the team?" And I'm saying one, Ben Davis, but to have Bailey there as well sometimes is great, and I do think that he has a future at this level. He's got the physique, he's got all the tools to do it. I think he's matured a lot over this last year. He's grown up a bit. And, I really, really hope that he, sees this now as a springboard into a long Devils career, because I think that's great for Cardiff hockey to have another local player come into the fold and carve out a career.
How's it been with Todd Kelman now? He's 50.
Yeah, now he's 50. Well, no, he wasn't slowing down on Sunday night, so that was a good sign.
Never.
So yeah,
that man will never slow down.
He wasn't in bed early, so I've got it to come this year, so I can't chirp him too hard. I've only got 6 months to chirp him. So.
Well, listen, mate, we really appreciate you coming on. We always love chatting to you. I'll say congratulations, these boys, and we'll look forward to having you on again. And of course, we'll wish you well in Fife, but not so much on Sunday.
All right, hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Always good to see you, boys.
Cheers, Ronnie.
Cheers, guys.
Big thanks to Franny for coming on. Big thanks to Dan Rook as well for letting us use that video that he put up of them all celebrating on the gantry. 2 games to talk about. Let's blast through them. The Belfast Giants undertook 2 games in the Elite League at home against a team from Yorkshire and a team from Lancashire. Actually, they're more or less in Cheshire, but let's not talk about that. It's a 4-2 win over the Sheffield Steelers and a 3-2 win over the Manchester Storm. Let's talk about that Sheffield game first, of course, and let's hear from the coaches.
Oh, yeah, they're sticking up for each other. That's obviously good. Obviously, I would love not to be down a man from that. But obviously, the penalty kill was good. Power play was good. Got us on the board. +1 special teams. I thought our first period was great. We gave them some life in the second period there with the odd man rush and the big goal for them. Third period I loved. Third period's how you win championships. We shut them down in the third period. The guys were playing responsible and got the job done. So it was a huge win for us.
Pretty good hockey game. Big boy hockey out there tonight for sure. I liked our compete. I liked our pushback, especially after we went down 3-1. I thought we really started to play the way that we needed to play. Maybe we didn't play like that the first 6 or 7 minutes of the second. I thought our first period was good as well. Tough place to come play. We know that team didn't play last night. We had the long trip and the flight today, so we knew that we expected you guys to come hard, and I thought we managed it very, very well in the first. Second period, you guys took a couple goal lead. Then we started playing, and I thought we turned the intensity up, got a little nasty ourselves, and turned into a really, really good hockey game. 3-2 there. There's probably 4 grade A's for us when we were down a goal there early in the third, where we could have tied that game up and didn't. And, then you give up one. We guys out there on a long shift, taking ice, don't get the red line. And then a one draw where our guys are tired and there's no exit, clean exit from that one draw, and then 4-2 makes the game a lot more difficult. So don't fault our compete, don't fault our effort tonight. Thought you guys were good. You guys are playing good hockey right now, no question about it. You better be ready to man up and play a physical game if you want to compete with you guys right now. And I thought we did that, especially the second half of the game. Just didn't get the result we wanted.
Goals for the Steelers were from Robert Dowd and Patrick Watling. Goals for the Belfast Giants were Grant Mismash, Bobo Carpenter, Kieran Long, and Mark Cooper. Wiss was in nets, and Mark Valleran got his head beat off by Davey, third periods is what wins championships, says Adam Keefe.
Yeah, I think both coaches there were fairly spot on. Well, I'm not going to say they're paid to do that. They're absolutely spot on with their assessment of the game. I thought pretty good first period from us, and we would not have deserved to go into the period break behind, and obviously getting that late goal in the first period. Well worked goal, to be fair, from the Steelers, the score of the first one. But from then I thought we took a good foothold in the game. We obviously got the goal back, and then strong in that second period, and really nice finish from Kieran Long. Is it? Yeah, Longer scored in about the half-hour mark. Aaron Fox describes it as big boy hockey. Whenever that incident took place, it was good to see. It wasn't just Josh Roach, Kieran Long threw gloves down. Ben Lake patrolled around there, making sure nothing else happened, because when Ben Lake steps in, people don't want to get involved. He made a couple of big boys and the small boys there. And, I thought a well-deserved win in a really big game. Jackson again in key moments. Aaron Fox there talks about maybe 4 grade A chances there. Guys were dropping down, eating pucks on the night, and Jackson made some big saves when he had to. And you know what? The 4-2 result, it could have been more, but I'll take that every day.
Says it was a physical game. It had its moments. It was a physical game, but the Giants were, despite the fact that the Steelers, as we see, opened to scoring through Robert Dowd, the Giants were just too much for them on the night.
I thought we really deserved the win. I always enjoy listening to the coaches summarize the game, and Aaron Fox is saying there that they just didn't win battles along the wall, and that maybe they were coming in after a big game the night before. Look, we've been there before, and that goal from Robert Dowd sort of woke us up. I thought we started the game okay. I don't think we really started as quick as we normally would over the last few weeks, but I just thought we started the game okay. But I thought that woke us up, and getting that goal by Mesh, I think it was either the last minute of the first period or maybe the last couple of minutes. And getting that goal was really, really important for us. Going in, there's a different conversation for Adam and the coaching staff going in there all tied up, and then it's Bobo picks up the second goal, Longer gets the third, and they get a bit of life coming back into the game through Watling. But I was really proud of the lads for standing up for each other. Basically that little incident behind. I was talking to David about this yesterday, and I seen Kevin Madden's comment there about was the glass okay after Aaron Fox was passionate. The glass is absolutely fine. It'll take him a lot more than that to break anything there behind the glass on the bench. But it sort of started. That whole incident started about 30 seconds before that. To be honest, I thought Coop should have maybe got a penalty. Going through on goal, and I think he really collided with the goalie and didn't get called on the penalty. Then Champini comes in. There's a bit of a late hit on Boudreau, and they basically the play then develops up the other end of the ice. Don't think the referee seen the first part of what happened. Obviously, Boudreau was giving Champini a bit of whatnot, and Saucerman jumps off the bench while the play's still continuing and grabs Boudreau around the neck. That wasn't called. Again, I don't think the referee's seen it. They were sort of concentrating at the play at the other end, and then the whistle goes, fracas occurs. Valorant comes in with a cheap shot on Roche, and Roche feeds him his dinner, which was great to see. And the whole that when that happened, and Davey talked about Laker stepping in, Longer stepping in. It's great to see the guys supporting each other and even supporting themselves as well. That's one thing we've probably got one thing if you're critical of the team this year. It's one thing that we haven't really done enough of. But I thought once that happened, I didn't think we were going to lose that game. I know it was 3-2, but I really didn't feel we were going to lose that game. I thought that really brought us together. And obviously, Coop's got the fourth goal in the third period. But the whole group managed the third period really, really well. Jackson was excellent, pulled off a couple of big saves, but we didn't give him an awful lot. We didn't give him an awful lot down the middle, especially in the third period. But you really, really big win against a very good team. But it's something I genuinely thought we really deserved on the night.
It's Davey. It is moments like we're just seeing it there. We're watching, but with the fracas like this, it often just galvanizes a team in big games.
Yeah, and it's sometimes from an unlikely source. If I was throwing £5 down on who was going to jump off the bench and get involved, it probably wouldn't have been Josh Roach. And your head coach said there he wasn't happy that we came away short-handed on that. You know, I thought for all the world it would have been just evened up in that whole fracas. I think Boudreaux takes the extra 2 minutes possibly for interference, and if that's for the call on Champagny at the bench, it's desperate because he just gives him a wee nudge on the way to the bench. Both players go on the bench, so unless something happens off the camera there that I didn't see. But yes, 100% good to see everybody in that moment willing to do what they need to do for the team. Neil Francis talked about it there, talked about the incident in Cardiff in early December, and just having guys on your team that are willing to do whatever they have to do for the team. Because, you know, sometimes it's not about scoring points, it's not about scoring goals. It's adding rather than not adding. And if you can add something when you're on the ice, you've done your job.
And we spoke to him last week. We asked him whether he thought he'd be in the lineup, and he was in the lineup. David Goodwin picks up a point, not just in this game, but in the following game. Hasn't missed a beat.
Listen, I watched him on Friday morning at practice, and he was looking good. And then, you know, to be honest, I didn't think Adam was going to leave him out. You know, Goodie's, he's a fit boy, and, you know, yes, it's completely different when you step on the ice. I thought Adam managed his minutes really well, and I spoke to him after the game on Sunday night, and he was done, like he was exhausted. But I thought you just see what he brings to the game and to the team, and it's just hard to leave a player like that out. I thought he was excellent throughout the night. You know, he didn't play an awful lot of power play minutes, but did get a couple at the end, towards the end of the game, and just the way he, you know, it's I think the best word for it is presence. His presence just lifts people around him. He makes players better around him. He started that game on Saturday, basically on the fourth line with Kieran Long, and then there was going to be Scott Conway, so whoever was down the middle with him. And you know, I thought he was excellent. I thought he was really, really good. And when he got that assist on the goal for Kieran Long's game winner, you just watch the play develop. You know, he drives down the right side, takes that pass going over the blue line. The defenseman's backing up too far. Goody's got the smarts to put the brakes on. Longer's coming late into the zone. Lovely pass across, and a great bit of patience by Longer to just step inside the diving defenseman and put it over the shoulder. So I thought it was a really, really good play. But there's only certain players can do that. And David Goodwin's one of those guys. I thought he was excellent.
The whole goal there, I think Jeff Baum chips it out of the zone. Kieran Long throws a 100-foot pass across the ice to Goody, who takes it on the move, looks up and picks him out. And Longer's really, really patient with the finish. Somebody goes past him on his way to the shops. Can't remember who goes down. You know, Simon has talked for the years that David Goodwin's been here about his hockey smarts, hockey IQ. Simon, you probably use that terminology. And, you know, while he's getting his full game speed, there's the pass from Long. While he's getting his full game speed, lads, you talk about players towards the end there. The last thing to go is your hands and your brain. You know, his hockey IQ will never leave him. Years after his legs have left him, and 20 years from now, David Goodwin will be making plays like that on the rink back home. You know, it's really great to have him back. Thought he added a little bit of snap to the extra man situation we talked about yesterday on the phone says as well. Some of the power plays across the two games that he was involved in just had a little bit more snap to them. But you know, as he gets his legs under him, it's all bodes well for the incoming weeks.
I think Kieran Long's been playing really well these last few weeks as well. Well deserved. Well
Two
deserved.
back-to-back game-winning goals.
Yeah,
from the
well
big man.
deserved. A lovely game-winning goal there. Well deserved celebration on that, and well done to him. Belfast Giants taking that game 4-2, and the only other comment I have to make is, who knew that one man's opinion that Marco Valorant is overrated would cause so many tears in Yorkshire? Unreal. Yeah, tough luck, lads. I don't think he's very good. I think he's completely overrated. But one man's opinion. You don't have to cry about it.
I always knew you were a big fan, Paddy.
Bluffer, mate. Always knew he was. The highlights of that are from Belfast Giants TV. We move on to Sunday's game. This time, the team from across the Pennines in the Manchester Storm, just off a loss to the Fife Flyers, come into the SSE Arena. Let's hear from the coaches.
When you spot Belfast a few goals, I mean, it's going to be a long battle back. But the guys, they dug in, and they didn't let them off the hook. It could have been, we could have thrown in the towel and given up, but we didn't. We've had some not great results in the last couple of weeks, but tonight we proved what we can really do, and we have to take something from that. Last night was poor, but they responded tonight, and now we have to find a way to bring that into next weekend. And I sound like a broken record sometimes, but we just have to find a way. And tonight they responded, and I'm proud of them. Yeah, we're all very disappointed. It's not acceptable. We expect to win every night, but Belfast, they stuck to their guns, and we didn't find a way at the very end. But the guys battled to the end.
Is it just trying to find that sort of level of consistency in performance first up, and then usually the results will follow after that?
I have it written on my card. Consistency. Yeah. We got to be good. We got to be good every night, every shift, every period. Every team in the league will light you up if you're not ready every shift. So it's finding that consistency, that level of intensity every shift, and we're not there yet. But we showed tonight that we can get there. But it's finding the full 60.
How do you plan out now, just the rest of the season with 24 games to go? I was going to say maybe a top 8 finishes maybe not dependent on tonight's results. It'll be results against maybe the teams around you in the league. Is that how you look at it?
Well, right now we still feel like everything is in our hands. If we take care of business every night, then at the end we'll be where we want to be. We don't want to start watching everybody else and seeing what they're doing yet. That's not where we want to be. So our goal is to get to the point where we can start moving up and catching somebody in front of us, so that it's in our hands, taking care of our own destiny, if you like. But we, like you said, 24 games, that's a lot of hockey. And you go on a run and good things can happen, and we just need to find a way to get that first one, and then we'll get the second. But first of all, first jobs first is to get that first one.
Appreciate the time.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I actually didn't love our start to the game. I thought we were pretty flat. Obviously, loved the power play goals. I thought the power play got us started there, and then Bassi had a big one there at the end of the period to gain control of that game. But in the second period, we completely gave control back to them. Credit to Manchester, they kept coming, and we didn't do enough to control the second period, which gave them life, which gave them 4 power plays, and then they get the second one there at the start of the third, and now you're in a fight. I thought our guys did a good enough job defending there in the third period, but not the way we want to win hockey games. That being said, they found a way to get that job done. Jackson was solid, and 2 points is 2 points, so we're certainly going to take it.
Storm goals come from Doust and Craig Martin on the power play. Belfast Giants goals were Bobo Carpenter on the power play, JJ Pickenich on the power play, and Gabe Bass. Jackson Whistle was in nets. Says, if you'd asked me at the end of the third period, I'd have said this was done and dusted. It seemed that we took our foot off the gas.
If I asked you at the end of the third period?
Oh, sorry, at the end of the first period?
Yeah, I've said the same thing. To be honest, I mean, Adam summarised the game perfectly there. Didn't start well. The 2 power play goals are the best power play goals you're going to see all season.
Oh, yeah.
Goody faked. There was 6,500 people in that building, and he's faked every single one of them with that pass. Everybody thought he was going to shoot the puck, and the pass cross ice, here it is there. That's just unbelievable. And Bobo, right on Johnny on the spot at the back door. He threw that right across and through the seam for Mismash, who one time passed back to Bobo and put it in the net. Everybody thought that he was going to shoot that puck. So, great play by Goody again. We'll talk about his hockey smarts. You just watch this play here. Takes it, comes high. Literally, watch the defenseman, or the forward drops a stick out, leaves it laying right through the mismatch, and fantastic finish by Bobo. But, the second power play goal. What's that?
It looks like a shot. He even lines it. He looks like a shot.
No, it's unbelievable. It's fantastic, and a great finish, as I say, by Bobo at the back door. But the second one was just as good, to be honest. And I thought that, again, you talk about special teams, and you're 2 for 2 after 15 minutes on the power play, and that's where you want to be. But I didn't after the end of the first period, as you say. Basti scored to make it 3-0 at the end of the about 30 seconds to go or something like that in the first period. But after that, we were average, to be very, very honest. Jackson played very well. That big lad, Craig Martin, for them is a decent player, throws a body about and knows where the net is, and then he scored a good goal for them to get them a wee bit of life. But I just thought overall, again, you're coming off the back of that big game the night before against Sheffield, and you managed to just scrape a win. I don't think it was pretty, but it's all about, as Adam said at the end of his interview, it's all about getting those 2 points, and a regulation win was really important, because this is what it could come down to for if you're there or thereabouts right at the end of the season to win the league, because I'm pretty sure Cardiff are still 2 regulation wins more than us at this point. So it's important to get those wins in 60 minutes, and on Sunday, that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, of course, regulation wins being the tiebreaker if points are level. Davy, Manchester are coming into the SSE Arena with Mike Moran's words ringing in their ears, because he was not a happy man the night before. If you go and watch his interview following the loss to Fife at home, Fife now getting the first points they've had in months. He was he's obviously taken over from Flanagan, and he's trying to run this side. The Storm came in, and as Sis said, the Giants were average second, third period. The Storm picked up. No.
Yeah, to an extent, I think the Giants maybe just took a little bit of a foot off the gas as well. And once you do that, it's sometimes really, really hard to get it back on again. The first 10 minutes weren't that pretty, and we got those power play goals. I think I go back, just back to perfect timing here. I talk often on this podcast about crossing the Royal Road, and you've got players of the quality of Evan Vinegar and Netsu. Obviously, he went out hurt.
He went out injured at the end of the first period, a collision with Bobo Carpenter.
Yeah, started a second period. Yeah, so there's crossed it once. David Goodwin then crosses back. Grant mismatch, cross it again, and Bobo Carpenter. Vinegar's having to go left to right. Doesn't know where it's going. The level of play for that power play is absolutely superb. And then if we roll on to the second goal, something inexplicable happens for the Coventry Blaze here. Watch what happens for the Manchester Storm. Now they're defending deep, like really deep. Belfast Giants are on top of them on a power play. So they have 4, we have 5.
It's the second one.
Yeah, this is the second one, or it's maybe the third one. There he goes. He went for a line change.
He went for yeah.
No, he's no stick. He's no stick.
All right then. Sorry, well, no stick or not.
Put his body on the line.
Yeah,
you can't bomb. That is not the point to be bombing to the bench, surely, Simon.
Yeah, no, that's not the play there. I don't know what's happening with
I know. I'll come back. I'll try to wind it back there.
Yeah, he had no. There he is now. He's basically looking to get to for the bench. It is a bad change by him. Make no mistake, because ultimately it was his guy that comes in and gets the goal.
Yeah. And actually, the guy that jumps off the bench to replace him doesn't even make it to the blue line and just turns around him, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
He's got a well, he wouldn't have a minus because it was on the power play right enough, but no, you're absolutely right, Davey.
Number 9.
It's a bad play by them.
And then the third goal, something very similar. I think it's Mike Lee gets it down in the corner, puts it back across the blue paint. Gabe Bass just waits. You'll see if we get an angle on it. I don't know if we'll get the overhead in it if we wind on that. This is great for if you're watching this or if you're listening to this on iTunes. This is absolutely fantastic here.
It was Tyler Hinman.
It doesn't matter anyway.
Tyler Hinman, who comes off the ice looking for the stick.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But the one for Gabe Bass just when he gets the puck, he just pushes it 2 or 3 feet in front of him, and the D-man is lying up. Vinegar can't see around him, and he just waits a wee fraction of a second, buries it in the bottom corner of the net past Vinegar's glove. And, at that point, 3-0 up, thinking probably going to go out here and it's going to be a comfortable enough regulation win for us. And I just think it was just a case of we took too much of a foot off the gas, and then you just can't get it going again. And, they came back into it. Good saves from Jackson again, kept us in the game towards the end. But, it'll not say at the end of the season, we'll not remember at the end of the season if it's a successful one, what happened in the third period in the Manchester game, hopefully.
But it's a case that, though, I'm not going to go back to those times that I end up angry in Altrincham, but the amount of times the Manchester Storm have that ability to come back at us, and they've done it at the SSE Arena, where they've come back at us and taken on. When we've taken our foot off the gas, we had to see the game out, and as Kiefer said in his interview, credit to the lads, they did see it out.
You have to dig deep, again. I mean, the night before, it took a lot of energy out of the boys, and there was a few people saying that they looked tired on Sunday, and they probably did. But again, you've got all those, decisive moments the night before. You're really up for the game. You're battling hard in the corners, and you go 3-0 up. Do you take your eye off the ball a little bit? Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. As Davey said, you're 3-0 up, getting into the second period, and the game's, even you said it, Paddy. You thought the game was done and dusted. It's it's a mental thing as well, but you just need to stay in the moment, stay in the game. It's important to play the 60 minutes and take each period at a time. Adam wouldn't have been happy with the second. Don't think he'd been overly happy with the third, but he'll be very happy with the 2 points. And again, we talk about what matters, and that's exactly what did. But credit to the Manchester Storm. The night before, they'd come off the back of a 4-1 lead, 5-2 Manchester, beat them 5-4, and they would have had a rocket put up their backside by the coaching staff and probably Neil Finnerty as well. Guys, get your act together here. You're 3-0 down. So they basically conceded 5-4 the night before in a row, 3 coming in the R building, 7 goals unanswered. It was either they were either going to get absolutely pumped or they had to turn up in the second, and they turned up in the second.
Word for Alex O'Dell, Davey having to come in cold off an injury to Evan Wenger.
Did well. Probably didn't face as much rubber as I would have liked them to. Whether Manchester tightened up around him, whether there's an element of what Simon's already said there about eye off the ball, eye off the puck, whatever, 3-0, backup goalie in, we'll be all right here, lads, and the game turned a little bit when it got to 3-2, but, credit goes to the team that managed to dig in and see out. Doesn't matter if it's pretty, it just matters that you get the 2 points sometimes.
It also, when you put I don't want to sound condescending, but when you put your backup in, the defensemen close in around him a lot more as well. They give him more support. They probably didn't give, okay, Veninger, he conceded 2 power play goals. Davies already touched on all 3 goals we scored. He was going left to right or post to post, and you need to get him moving. He's not the biggest goalie in the world. But we absolutely did not test old Dale.
Old Dale, I saw that.
We did not test him enough. There's no doubt about that. He probably had a light night. He was coming into the game with probably 3 or 4 minutes in the second period, and he was probably expecting to face a lot of rubber. We didn't do it. But as I say, it's a 4-point weekend for the second weekend in a row. We move on.
It's just when you said, you bring in the backup. It's not just in my head. I just remember Davy's face when we brought the backup in Newcastle.
Yeah,
I got 3 out.
you near took the door off his hinges.
Wasn't allowed back in. That was we got pumped. Hey,
that was a good.
That was Ed Courtney. Ed Courtney was the coach that night.
He was. Both teams.
Who was the backup? Christian Gibson.
No.
Adam Cree.
Oh
God.
Adam Cree was the backup. I just remember.
Let's just move on. Let's just move on.
Dear. So you have the 4-point weekend for the Belfast Giants, a win over the Sheffield Steelers and the Manchester Storm, and that puts them top of the Elite Ice Hockey League. It's 3 games in the next 7 days. Flames on Wednesday night away, Coventry at home on Saturday, and Cardiff away, as we spoke about, on Sunday at 6 p.m. So it's 3 difficult games. You have to say, Coventry have had our number at times. Guildford are a strange fish. They're not doing very well away from home, but they seem to like pick up the points at home. And that's the game that's happening tomorrow night.
Look, we've had success there this season so far. It's important that we basically just come in. The boys they're flying over tomorrow morning. They'll be ready to go. They're feeling good about themselves. So hopefully that form transfers on the ice. Sorry, it's a big game. They'll be. I think the last time we went there, Paul Dixon was not happy with the Flames. So they came out. They're coming off the back of. Oh, there we go. They come off the back of a 3-2 loss in overtime against Coventry at the weekend. So it's it's probably a big ask for with 3 games in 5 days, but it doesn't matter about the other 2. It's all about tomorrow night, and we can only take one game at a time. We take one game at a time, one period at a time. Adam will be preparing the boys for tomorrow and feeling pretty good about tomorrow night.
Davy, the Giants, now that all games are level, well, not all games, but a lot among the top teams, all games are level. The Giants have gone top. How much confidence do you think, instill in the boys to consolidate that position moving forward?
Put themselves in a good position, and now they're there to be shot at, and they're also there to understand that if they win out, they win the league. That there's big prize. I know that it's very unlikely to everybody to win out, but you can only put yourself in that good position. We talk about this on the podcast often about you're building through the winter to get yourself into a position for January, as they go through the dog days of January and early February, and then you're into the stretch. You're in the last 20 games of the season here soon, and it's unbelievable that this professional league takes until almost the end of January to even out in terms of games played, and still. I don't know if is that play-in for the Challenge Cup being played yet?
It's tomorrow night between the Nottingham Panthers and the Glasgow Clan.
So there's fixtures that still to be factored in there in February and so on for that. But we're now the team to be shot at. We've been shooting at other teams for now, and we've got ourselves in. All we've done is get ourselves into a good position for the end of January, and that's what the coaching staff have wanted from this team. This team has worked hard through the early season, and they've got themselves in a good position. Go ahead, sis.
No, you're absolutely right, David. Look, I've been saying it I've been saying it from September. Neil Francis was saying there you were down 8 guys at one point. We were exactly the same.
Yeah, way to Nottingham.
We'd basically playing with 13 players on the Nottingham roster, and then lost another guy. We're down to basically 4 defensemen and 6 forwards, 5 forwards actually, I said all along, look, just let us get healthy, and if we can get healthy, we'll be all right. Now we're relatively healthy. Joe Cassetti is not far away from skating regularly with equipment on, and obviously we've got Goody in now, and everybody else is feeling pretty decent about themselves. A little bit of a, you want to pick up everybody else and get ready to go. Listen, I feel pretty good about our team, and if we can just listen to, you talk about players, try and maybe do their own thing and not used to playing systems and what have you. Adam's system, there's no doubt about it. Adam Keefe is a winner, and his system does win if you listen to him and then basically, play the way he wants to play. It's proven that over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And, we just need to concentrate on one game at a time. Guildford's up next. Let's get ready to go tomorrow night.
As you say, those 3 games, we got Guildford on Wednesday night, 7:30. You'll get that on Flames TV if you're not going over to the Spectrum. Then we are at home on Saturday against the Coventry Blaze, 7 p.m. at the SSE Arena. Tickets says, what's our status? Are we
going very quickly, mate? Going very, very quickly.
Some of the crowds are unbelievable.
Listen, we were sold out on Saturday night. We were over 6,300 or 400 in, and on Sunday, the fans have been absolutely phenomenal. And the big thing about it is, yes, our season ticket numbers are great, but we're seeing new people every single week, and it's right up there now. It's a night out in Belfast, and it's the place to be. And so if you want to come watch the Giants, you've got to get your tickets very, very quickly for each game coming up.
Saturday, 7 p.m. Coventry Blaze at home, and if you can't do it, then you can get it on Giants TV. And then we are away to face the Cardiff Devils at the Calbon Arena. And if you're not making the trip there, then you'll be able to get it with Gareth and Dan on Devils TV. Any other business, gentlemen?
just want to reiterate about the raffle. If we can stick another one out on the socials tonight, let people see that the raffle jersey is up for grabs. Laura's already said that that it's going great so far, and look, our fans are fantastic. It's £2 a ticket. You can get a couple of different bundles there as well, and anything you can give towards this is going to be a very, very good cause. Do you know what?
Just on this is before you give that next spot, I've just been sent this by Mr. Boxill.
Yeah.
Adelaide in her dad's Giants helmet. Make sure that she's being the Zamboni on the ice on that outdoor rink.
Yeah, it's real for you. It's real for you. She's doing. I mean, that's just unbelievable. Like it's just class. He was showing me when we were out in Boston last year the way it was set up, and they're looking forward to the colder weather. And I think God, it must be minus something there now, but the ice still perfect there. And knowing Boxy, he'd be out there every single night with a man-made Zamboni. I don't think his arse would fit in that one, but we'll have to just wait and see. But listen, the one thing we didn't actually mention earlier on, the crowd at the SSA Arena on Saturday night for the Sheffield game was absolutely fantastic.
Electric, man.
The noise they were making was brilliant. Sunday was probably a little bit subdued, to be very honest. But the crowd on Saturday night was fantastic. Roche got man of the match. And the noise when that reverberated around the arena itself, obviously from standing up and punching the face clean off your mate, Paddy. Valorant. It certainly it felt good, and Roche did a great job. But the fans were this season they've been absolutely brilliant.
David, anything to add from you for any other business?
No.
No, in which case the gents, let's wrap things up. As I say, 3 games away. Guildford 7:30 Wednesday night at home at the SSE Arena to face the Coventry Blaze 7 p.m. on Saturday. Get that on Giants TV if you can't make it to the game, and then away 6 p.m. at 6 p.m. at the Calball Arena to face the Cardiff Devils. And you can join Gaz and Dan on Devils TV if you can't make it to that. On the socials, you can get us at AVFTB on X. You can get us on Facebook and kingdomofthegiants.com. You get us on Instagram and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. We love getting thanks to everybody who's been sending in messages and tweets and all that sort of stuff. We really do appreciate it. Big thanks to Laura Small, to Jonathan Boxill. Big thanks to Franny and, of course, to Jackson Whistle for coming and joining us for a chat. You two gents, always a pleasure. Is it next week you're off, Sis, or is it a week after?
So Saturday night, game against Coventry at home. I'm leaving probably about 15 minutes before the end to get down to Dublin and fly out from Dublin next morning. So, yeah, hopefully everything's on time, and I'll be sitting beside the pool on Sunday chilling out.
Fantastic, mate. Well, listen, have a good time. We'll see you when you get back. Enjoy the sunshine.
Come on. I'll come on when I'm sitting in a bar next
time. You jump in the pool again? You jump in the pool like you did last time?
No, I'm not jumping in the pool again. That was bloody freezing that night. That was Baltic like.
I have just got the very man. If Sis is a few pints deep, I've got someone who's been just breaking my neck to be on this for years.
All right, okay. All right, then. We'll hold that thought and come back next week to see who joins us on The View from the Bridge. Big thanks to everybody for joining in. And on that note, wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. And we'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.